Hi, this is Brian Lazar with the Colorado Avalanche Information Center, and welcome to your weekly Avalanche Outlook. Let's start by going straight to the homepage map. And what you can see here is that we've got some areas of considerable danger, and the rest of the state is at moderate danger, or level 2 of 5. And the reason we've got elevated avalanche danger is reflected here in our Avalanche Explorer tool. So you can look at the bottom here, and you can see the amount of avalanche activity over about the last 6 days. And we saw this uptick on Tuesday and into Wednesday. And that's largely due to a fairly decent April snowstorm that rolled through. So here we're showing a modeled simulation run of the storm that came through Tuesday and Wednesday, but this is a fairly accurate prediction of what happened in our mountains. Most mountain areas picked up anywhere from 6 to 12 inches from Tuesday and into early Wednesday morning. There are some areas that picked up as much as 2 feet, and those are largely areas from Beaver Creek south into the Roaring Fork Valley, in the upper Crystal River Valley, and over towards the Aspen ski areas. So that led to an increase in avalanche danger due to avalanches in the storm snow. So the avalanches in the recent storm snow came and are coming in 2 main varieties. Some are loose, dry avalanches, like the one pictured here near Crested Butte. While some of these are really small and just classify as small sloughs, some of them are large enough to bury or injure a person. We also had some of these avalanches break in storm slab or wind slab avalanches, like this one pictured here from near Molas Pass. And so this is a good representation of kind of what the snowpack structure looks like right now. You can see here in the photo that this storm came in with very, very strong southwest winds, and it did blow some dust across all of our snowpack here. And you can see here we've got the storm snow breaking on the pre-existing snow surface. This setup is still going to be a concern with us through Thursday, and so we have to worry about wind slab avalanches and storm slab avalanches, and the avalanches are going to be larger in those areas that picked up closer to 2 feet of snow. So those storm snow instabilities should taper off today on Thursday and be less of a concern as we move into Friday. Friday is very much a transition day. We do have quite a bit of a warm up going on Friday. And so you can expect this cold, dry snow to start to shed off in wet avalanche activity. So we can expect some widespread loose wet avalanches as we move through the warm up period on Friday. So after the shed cycle on Friday, we're back into some cooler temperatures, and that leaves us with our lingering persistent slab avalanche problem. And here's just another recent video which illustrates the snowpack and the weak layer of concern that formed during our midwinter dry spell.
Hey everyone, Dylan here with the Colorado Avalanche Information Center. And although it may feel like we're in springtime right now, we're still dealing with a persistent slab avalanche problem in these dry facets buried about a meter below the snowpack. And so why don't we do a few snowpack tests and see what kind of results we get. So now we're going to do a propagation saw test on that same weak layer that we got a failure on the extended column test. So as you can see, I got a propagating failure well before halfway across this column. And the whole slab will just slide right off there. So really what these two tests in combination with each other are telling us is that it's getting harder to trigger avalanches, but if you do find that sweet spot on a slope, you can still trigger a large avalanche on these northerly aspects near and above the tree line.
So as that video demonstrates, these avalanches are getting harder to trigger, but the threat of them has not completely disappeared. This avalanche is a really good illustration of the kinds of avalanches that you can still trigger as we move through the weekend, Saturday into Sunday. And so although the chance of triggering these avalanches is diminishing, if you do find the wrong spot, they can still break deep onto those old weak layers of snow and produce avalanches large enough to bury or kill a person. This should largely heal itself as we move into late Sunday and into Monday. It looks like we're going to be back into low danger across most of Colorado mountains and generally safe avalanche conditions as we move into the early part of the next work week. So that's a lot of change that's happening over just a several day period. When conditions are this dynamic, it is typical for spring conditions. It's important you stay up to date on changing conditions so you can develop trip plans appropriate for current conditions. There's lots of safe riding options out there and a little bit of snowy recreation left before we head into the late spring and summer months. So stay safe out there, and we will see you back here next week.